Let's build an arsenal using the brand new Motiv Subzero Forge. Building an arsenal around the Subzero Forge can be very, very interesting. So for anyone who isn't aware, the Subzero Forge is the new solid symmetrical ball coming from Motiv Bowling. This thing is slow, it is early, it's going to be one of the soonest hooking bowling balls on the market in terms of symmetrical balls. It is also very, very slow. The cover stock is very strong, so it's going to be very smooth, not very great from very deep, but it's going to be better from straighter angles. So how do we build an arsenal around this? So we are going to fit most people with this arsenal. We're not going to fit everybody because speed dominant bowlers, you're going to have to take this all with a little bit of a grain of salt because this would not be the hookingest ball in your bag if you're speed dominant. At least it shouldn't be. But for most of the rest of the general bowling community, I think this is a great, strong, and smooth ball. It's going to be early. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be slow. It's going to be really good on lots of oil. It's going to be fantastic when there's 30 plus mils out. When you have something 44 plus feet, this is going to be a great play. It's also going to be great on short patterns because it is so tumbly and slow. So this is going to be my pick for a strong and smooth ball. So let's build a little bit more around it to see what a 6-ball arsenal would look like. So what kind of ball fits as a shiny ball compared to it in the strong and shiny category? Now, to me, I think the Nuclear Forge is going to fit really well in this slot. Nuclear Forge is the same core as the Subzero Forge. It's just going to have a much later pearl cover stock on it. It's going to hook about 4 to 5 feet later. It's going to be much sharper, hooking more on a dime than the Subzero Forge. So if the Subzero is hooking just way too early, you can just go right down to the Nuclear. Same core, so the ball reaction is going to look pretty similar. It's just going to be further down lane. So when your Subzero starts hooking way too early and much, but you still need something smoother, what should you go to? To me, I think you go to the GOAT at this point, the Motiv Venom Shock. I think that's going to be the greatest medium and smooth ball you can have below the Subzero. There's a little bit of a gap between the Subzero and Venom. There's going to be you could fit a ball in between there if you wanted to have an 8-ball arsenal, but for a 6-ball arsenal, I think it's a-okay going Subzero Forge into the Venom Shock. Venom Shock's going to be further down lane, but it's still going to be pretty slow off the break point. It's not going to be anything too crazy, and it is also the GOAT, so it's going to pair really well with pretty much anything. Now, how about for a medium and shiny ball off of the Subzero if you need to go way down in the bag? I think you have to go to the pink ball, the Hyper Venom, one of my picks for a top ball in 2024. This is just a shiny Venom Shock, a Pearl Venom Shock. It's going to be fantastic for if the Subzero is way too much, but you need something weaker and shinier, then you can go to the Hyper Venom. This is going to be at least 8 feet further down lane and much sharper off the end of the pattern. Now, as for the weak category, what balls are going to fit well when the Subzero is just way too much ball, or you're in game 5, 6, or 7 of a tournament where you started with the Subzero, the Max Thrills are going to be the best play. Max Thrill Solid, Max Thrill Pearl. I've talked about them on almost every Motiv Arsenal guide. They are fantastic weaker bowling balls. The Max Thrill Solid ball reaction down lane is fairly similar to the Subzero. It is pretty slow, but it is just much weaker, so it's going to push much further down lane before it starts hooking. So you could go Subzero into a Max Thrill Solid if you are that rev dominant and the lanes break down that quickly. That is an option that you can have. But the Max Thrill Solid and Pearl are going to be great much later on in the tournament when the Subzero is just hooking way too early. Now, there are many balls that can fit in different slots around the Subzero. You can pick the Jackal Ambush to go above it. You could pick the Crimson Jackal to be a shiny ball off of it. You could go Pride Liberty to be a ball right below it. There's tons of great options. Use Motiv's ball guide that they have on their website. It is incredible. It is one of my favorite tools to use for when making Motiv guides. So go check that out if you are a strong Motiv Nation fan and you're trying to build an arsenal. Otherwise, let me know what you think of the Subzero. If you're thinking of picking one up, make sure to subscribe and follow otherwise for more videos like this. Thanks, guys.